Welcome back to another episode of Grizzly True Crime. My name is Grizzly K, and today I want to offer you a timeline overview in Madeline Soto's case. In case you haven't been following along on the live streams, or maybe you're a little bit confused because we've heard different timelines now from family members and then law enforcement. So maybe you're still trying to make sense of all of it and just piece it together. So I thought I could do that for us so that we have one video with some map time so that we could just see, well, where does the case stand now? Unfortunately, today in Madeline Soto's case, which is a missing child case, we were really hoping to hear at the press conference that they had found her. But unfortunately, that is not the case. They say they are now confident that she is no longer alive, and they have video evidence of her body in her mother's boyfriend's car the morning when he supposedly dropped her off at school. So this case, of course, does come with a trigger warning. It's horrendous to even think what that mother's boyfriend was up to based on what they found on his phone, which was child sexual abuse material dating all the way back to March of 2022 of crimes committed at the home. Okay, so I'm going to just start with this in case you've never heard of the case. I've just updated my presentation for you. So we're going to look at the whole timeline. I'm going to show you the map time so that maybe if you live in the area, you can check your ring cam footage or dash cam footage or any surveillance that you may have. Maybe you saw something and you know something and you can call the tip line. So this is the beautiful Madeline Sophia Soto, who only turned 13 a week ago on February 22nd of 2024.
Please note that this content is for adults only. Viewer discretion advised. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe, like, and share.
Now, at the first press conference, the police said that in Madeline's phone, she had told one of her friends that when she turns 13, she wants to go and live in the woods. And then when we saw her mother's boyfriend get arrested with those CSAM charges, we were like, oh, maybe she wanted to run away. However, later, her mother had spoken to someone in the media and said, no, that was just a misunderstanding. It was just, the girls talking to each other, her friends, and saying that if there's World War III or it's the end of the world, then they're going to live in the woods. But it sounds more like what the police said when she said, when I turn 13, I'm going to go live in the woods. Now, the other speculation is also, of course, that the perpetrator in this case, the mother's boyfriend, Stephan Sterns, wrote that message because we don't know the exact date when that message was written. But the picture is becoming a lot clearer now, and unfortunately, it's very sinister. So she has blonde hair and blue eyes, dimples and a mole on the left side of her nose and right side of her chin. She's 5'1", approximately 110 pounds, and she was last seen. Now, that's not true where she was last seen. You see, that's what was being shared because that's what the boyfriend had said, as in her mother's boyfriend, where she was last seen. So scrap that. But she was apparently, I don't know if we can believe that either, actually. Apparently, she was last seen wearing a dark green hoodie, black shorts, and white Crocs, and may have been carrying a gray floral JanSport backpack. Well, guess what? Police found video surveillance of the mother's boyfriend throwing that JanSport backpack in the dumpster, as well as her school-issued laptop. Wow, like right at the apartment complex where they lived. Now, if you followed the case with me, these are the timeline details that the perp shared. I'm going to show you pictures of him in a moment, but he said that basically on Monday, February 26th, he took her to school. She wanted to go early, and she didn't want to be dropped off at the school, so he dropped her off at a church parking lot. And that day was one day where she forgot her phone at home. Now, her mom later said that she has ADHD, and she is often forgetful, and she does sometimes forget her phone. So it might be true, but of course, for a 13-year-old to forget her phone on the day where she went missing was always going to be a red flag, wasn't it? So the police actually found her phone when they started the investigation, and that's where they learned that she had said that she wants to go and live in the woods. And guess what? They also asked for the mother's boyfriend's phone. And on it, even though he had said that he had factory reset it, accidentally, on February 26th, of course they were able to recover whatever it was they tried to delete. And it was horrendous. I will give you a glimpse of the probable cause affidavit. I know you guys are all curious to see it, but be warned, okay? It's really graphic. It's really terrible. It shows the dangers as well of these, I don't know what else to call it, but groomers entering a home to actually target the children. He might have very well love-bombed Madeline's mother. Maybe she had no idea of the abuse that was going on. He might have continued to, charm her and love-bomb her while at the same time abusing her daughter, which are the allegations right now, and especially based on the evidence that they found on his phone. Now, that day, on February 26th, his story was that he took her to school early, dropped her off, not by the school because she was embarrassed of his vehicle. And they said today that the vehicle was a 2010 silver Lincoln. Okay, and they gave us the license plate number, which I'm going to give you in a moment as well, in case you saw it, where we're going to look at it on the map as well. But he says he dropped her off and, that was it. And I was thinking, oh, what did the rest of your day look like? And then there was apparently this grainy video of her walking to the school. But no, the police said, no, we can't really tell if that's her or not. Now it turns out none of this is true. He did not drop her off at school that day. She was already, according to the police, based on evidence they have, deceased before that, by 8:30 in the morning, which is it's so sad and so scary because her mother said she had the best day on Sunday and they had family over and they were celebrating her 13th birthday and she was showing them her gifts. So, wow. But that afternoon on February 26th, her mother went to pick her up from school. So there's still a lot of information we don't have. I wonder what Madeline's mother's schedule was like on that Monday. Did she leave for work really early morning hours? Did she work overnight? I don't even know where she worked. What did she do that day? We're not too sure because, of course, she said, we took her to school and we did this, but apparently the boyfriend had taken her to school. So we don't know if the mother was in the car or not, or if she knew what happened to Madeline or not. We don't know. It would make more sense to me if, the mother was at work or sleeping in or something like that and didn't quite know what this guy was up to. But we'll see as the investigation unfolds. So her mother went to pick her up at school that afternoon and found out she wasn't at school all day, which is also disappointing to learn that the school hadn't alerted the parents, allegedly. They haven't come forward to say that, oops, we didn't, or maybe they did. Imagine if it turns out that they did. But apparently the parents didn't know, Madeline's mother didn't know that she wasn't at school all day. Then she said in an interview that she drove around for a while. She looked for Madeline at her mother's house. She went to places where she thought maybe she walked. And then she eventually called 911 to report her missing. Now, on a Nancy Grace episode, one of the guests said that it actually took 5 hours to call the police. Others in our live chat were saying, no, she called immediately. It just took 5 hours for them to come out and, take them seriously. So I'm not too sure about that either. But, we'll have to see when more details come out. But yes, based on what they said at the press conference today, we can say rest in peace to Madeline Soto, who's just turned 13 years old. So this was a picture probably from her 13th birthday, because there's a cake with a 13 on it. It says, Happy Birthday, Madeline. Again, her birthday was on the 22nd of February, which is a week ago. In this picture, in that window reflection, I believe you can actually see that guy. You can actually see that guy, the perp we'll look at now, everywhere. He's always behind them. He's always, when her mother took a selfie, he's standing at the back of the car, behind the car. Here it looks like he's in the reflection of the window. There's other guys there too, but it does look like some type of as we say in South Africa, a braai, which is like a barbecue or a party of some sorts. It looks like he's in the reflection there. It just seems like he's a very controlling type and he's always watching over Madeline and her mother. Wouldn't be surprised, right? And so also in the interview that Madeline's mother had with Fox 35, he's literally sitting in the background the whole time. the entire time, trying to, control the narrative in his own nonverbal way and, cracking his knuckles and being really weird. So now in hindsight, that interview is even stranger. So let me show you the guy, the prime suspect. The police already named him the prime suspect a few days ago. They said, during the investigation into Madeline's disappearance, Orange County Sheriff's Office detectives discovered disturbing images and video from sexual crimes that took place at the home when they forensically examined 37-year-old Stephan Sterns' phone. A review of the phone's data revealed attempts to delete evidence. That was his attempt at factory resetting it on the day that they have video evidence of him throwing away her laptop and backpack that same day. So, man, the evidence is stacking up against him. That same day, he just factory reset his phone like a dumbass, thinking they won't find anything. They found everything. So he was arrested on February 28th and charged with sexual battery. He's being held on no bond. And he's just been moved from the Orange County Jail to the Osceola, I think is how you say it, County Jail. He's not talking to the judge, refusing to go to the courtroom, apparently. He's not saying a word. He's asking for a lawyer and not saying anything, which I know people would say, of course, if you are being accused of things, that's the right thing to do. I get it, but damn, this guy is zip silent now. So the Orange County Sheriff's Department is investigating Madeline's disappearance while the Kissimmee Police Department is investigating the sexual battery case. That changed today. At the press conference, they said now that they are confident that Madeline is no longer alive, now the Kissimmee Police Department is investigating, the case. And they are going to work hard to recover Madeline's remains. So Stephan Sterns had an opportunity tonight to come clean with detectives and help lead them to information about Maddie's disappearance. Her loved ones deserve answers, and CSO and the Kissimmee police will not stop until we find Maddie. The search for Madeline continues. That's what Sheriff John Mina said. And unfortunately, the guy did not give up any information. Now here's some more pictures of this walking red flag who pretended to work at Walt Disney World. Didn't work there at all. Disney actually had to come forward and say, we don't know this guy. He doesn't work there. There's some rumor that Madeline's mother works at Disney World, but I'm not too sure about that. I do not know where exactly she works. I don't trust Facebook information, clearly, because it's all from Facebook here. He was apparently, a real estate agent, and who knows if he actually even worked or contributed to the household or not, or if he was just really there to live in and target Jen's daughter, Madeline. And the CSAM on his phone, the child sexual abuse material, dates back to March of 2022, and they've redacted the names, of course, of the minors that he did things to and zoomed in on things with the children or the minors that they are referring to, that they redacted the names of, which we can only assume, we don't know, but we could assume it's Madeline based on the whole situation. I don't know how many more victims of that there are in this case, but if it dates back to then, she was 10 or 11, and we don't even know if it started before then, which is just so scary. Apparently he's been dating her mother for several years, is what they said in one of the media clips, so I'm not too sure since when. So today, on March 1st of 2024, there was a press conference that we watched together live. I'm going to put the live stream links in the description box for you if you do want to see those. But they said while police have not found Madeline, based on evidence, they are now confident that she is dead. And they wouldn't just come out and say that if they didn't have evidence to back that up. There were forensic teams at the house earlier today. And so, I was wondering, what are they going to find there? And they also have video surveillance evidence and things like that. And so they were able to have this press conference and say this. They are now confident that she is dead, which is devastating. They will now focus on recovering Madeline's remains. Now, here's the real timeline. She was never dropped off at that church parking lot or anywhere on Monday. Okay, they believe she wasn't alive at that time already when this guy said that he dropped her off at school. So she was never dropped off on Monday, February 26th at the church near her school. Instead, police believe that she was already dead and Stephan Sterns was moving her body. On Monday, February 26th, 2024, at 7:35 a.m., Stephan threw Madeline's laptop and backpack in the dumpster at the apartment complex where they lived, which detectives were later able to recover. So, We like it when criminals are dumb. It's just like, I'm going to throw this at the dumpster, like right there by the apartment complex. Okay, so they were able to recover that. That must have been devastating to find that already, because that's really not a good sign. But then they said at 8:19 a.m., Stephan returned to the complex and Madeline was visible in the vehicle. And they believe that she was already dead at that time. Now, there were many questions that the media asked at the press conference. Some of them we could barely hear. But based on the answers, they were kind of, asking, well, how do you know? How do you know that she was already dead at the time? They said, of course, due to the investigation, they can't get into that. But they believe that she was no longer alive. So that sounds terrifying. But by 8:19 a.m., and remember, he said he dropped her off at like 8:45 a.m. So what they shared with us was this vehicle. They said suspect vehicle, and the suspect is Stephan Sterns. Of course, the victim, Madeline Soto. They told us about some points to, if you live in that area, to try to recall if you saw a suspicious vehicle, this one, a 2010 silver Lincoln MKZ, and the license plate is IYLL82. I will show you the map right after this. I just first want to show you this bulletin that they shared and the vehicle. So this is apparently the vehicle that they were in. You can actually see him in it there, on the left-hand side there. If you look carefully, we can't see her body or anything. I don't know where exactly this was taken, but they clearly have him on video surveillance in many, many places and are piecing together this whole investigation. He is so busted, isn't he? Now, here, right after the press conference, the Orange County Sheriff's Office said, Sheriff Mina, video evidence shows Stephan Sterns discarding items in a dumpster at the family's Kissimmee apartment complex at 7:35 a.m. on Monday, February 26th. Investigators later found Madeline's backpack inside that dumpster. At 8:19 a.m., video shows Sterns returning to the complex with Madeline visible in the car. We believe she was already dead. That sounds so strange. So, that's why I'm saying I wonder what her mom was up to. Maybe she was sleeping in. Maybe she already went to work. Who knows? But did he then, what happened and what's the timeline there? That's still quite unclear, but, did he murder her at the house? Did he murder her elsewhere? Did he take her somewhere? Oh dear. Okay, so they said Sterns is the boyfriend of Madeline Soto's mother and the last person to confirm seeing her the morning of February 26th. Kissimmee Police Department will now take over the investigation as the lead agency. On February 28th, Kissimmee Police, working in conjunction with the Orange County Sheriff's Office, arrested 37-year-old Sterns for sexual battery and possession of child sexual abuse material. The Orange County Sheriff's Office detectives discovered those disturbing images and videos when they forensically examined Sterns' phone. The review of his phone also revealed attempts to delete evidence. It was determined the sexual crimes were committed at the family home in Kissimmee. Oh my goodness. So to think if she was the victim of that, which we can plausibly say in the last 2 years at least of her life, we're living hell at home. So that is the tip line number. If you have any information, please remember to call that tip line, because you just never know if it could help the police. Now, what I do want to show you is the map time so that we could see where they said they think his vehicle was. They said they think he had a flat tire in one of these areas. So if you saw anything suspicious, please do call it in. So let me show you that. Okay, so they apparently lived in this Venetian Bay Villages condominiums area. And they talked about, the police mentioned this State Road 192, which you can see goes like directly from that, the villages, the condominiums here, all the way down to where they say he may have had a flat tire, which was on this old Hickory Tree Road. And let me just get the exact name here. Wait, they told us. Nolte Road. So that is what I've typed in here. So somewhere between this State Road 192, Old Hickory Tree Road, and this Nolte Road, allegedly he had a flat tire. Now, I also don't know if that's true or not, if it's his story or not, that he's like, oh, we know they had a flat tire. Who knows? Because he lies a lot, apparently. So if you saw that vehicle, though, in this area, if you live here, remember this is all in Orlando, Florida. I'll zoom out so that you could just see it in case you didn't know. There we go. Florida. And here's Orlando, okay? So in this area, if you live in this area here and you saw anything suspicious or along the way, please do call it in to the police. Now, let me show you this guy, the suspect, begging for her return. Look at this. Oh my goodness. What a liar. Just look at this. It's a short clip, but just look at this.
Tell her that we love her.
That man, the boyfriend of the young girl's mother, and tonight he's behind suspect.
Bring her home if you find her. Tell her that we love her.
That man, the boyfriend of the young girl's mother, and
oh, no. Okay, and I'm just gonna
for help to find
go forward here.
Madeline.
Look at
He
this.
said he was the last person to see her, dropping her off at a church down the street from school. Now law enforcement is investigating what role he had in Madeline's disappearance and saying there were red flags while interviewing the family. According to the arrest affidavit, family and friends said it was unusual for Madeline to be dropped off down the street. When investigators interviewed Sterns, they asked to look at his phone, but he stated he accidentally performed a factory reset on the phone the day Madeline disappeared. Law enforcement was able to recover several photos and videos showing Stephan sexually battering a child. We spoke by phone to Sterns' father, Christopher Sterns, who said he was shocked by these developments. We went to speak to Jennifer Soto's mother today. She was not at home, but we spoke by Ring doorbell camera. She said Stephan Sterns and Jennifer Soto have been in a relationship for several years, adding that she is extremely worried about Madeline's safety, particularly after hearing what authorities found on Stephan Sterns' phone. As for a criminal history, Sterns is not a registered sex offender.
Isn't that so scary? He has no criminal record, he's not a registered sex offender, he's gone under the radar this whole time. But you think of what he's now accused of. They haven't charged him with murder yet. I think they're working very hard to recover Madeline's remains. And then I'm suspecting there's going to be more charges. But to think that he just went under the radar like that, and maybe even right under Madeline's mother's nose, for all we know. Also, I want to quickly show you the documents, but as I say, trigger warning, okay? It's really bad. Okay, so this is the City of Kissimmee Police Department Emergency Warrant Request Cover Sheet. Officers of Kissimmee Police Department are waiting to immediately, directly, instantly, and at once without delay proceed on this search or arrest warrant. In compliance with the 9th Judicial Circuit's warrant signing procedure, this cover sheet is attached to the request for emergency arrest or search warrant. The Kissimmee Police Department recognizes that an emergency is an unforeseen combination of circumstances that calls for immediate action, and that law enforcement should seek emergency duty judge intervention only in rare and extreme circumstances where the law or totality of the circumstances requires immediate action, and that it must appear that urgent circumstances are present and that lack of immediate action would result in the loss of evidence or the imminent escape of a suspect. Good call to arrest him immediately. So they said the location of the suspect is in Orlando and the facts justifying the emergency are in custody. So the police have redacted a lot. Thank you to Grizzly Cat for getting me this document, which was a devastating read. So just buckle up here. They said in the Circuit Court of the 9th Judicial Circuit in and for Osceola County, Florida. Hope I said that right. That's now one of the jails is in Osceola County Jail. State of Florida versus Stephan Michael Sterns. Or Stephan Michael Sterns. He was born on the 25th of April of 1986. White male, 6'2", 220 pounds. Pretty tall guy, huh? Damn. Okay. Eyes. Wait. I'm just like, what? Hair black, eyes brown. No visible tattoos or anything that they said. And here they said the state of Florida, county of Osceola. Digitally appears the affiant Detective Brian Moore, ID number 804, a sworn law enforcement officer, to wit, an officer for the Kissimmee Police Department, who makes this affidavit and states under oath that affiant has probable cause to believe that certain laws have been violated in Osceola County, Florida, and that on or between 3/20 of 2022 all the way to 12/03 of 2023, the defendant, Stephan Michael Sterns, did violate Florida state statute and commit the offenses of sexual battery and possession of material sexual performance by child. Your affiant, Detective Brian Moore, is a sworn law enforcement officer employed by the Kissimmee Police Department and has been employed by said agency since 4/09/2018. Your affiant currently investigates crimes in the city of Kissimmee, Florida. Your affiant, in the course of his or her official duties, has come to investigate. On February 26th of 2024 at approximately 2000 hours, Madeline, I would assume is the redacted name there, was reported missing by her mother. The mother advised that her daughter's stepfather, so it's interesting that in this document, and to the police she's saying it's her daughter's stepfather, where sometimes her mother has referred to him as boyfriend or even ex-boyfriend. But okay, daughter's stepfather, Stephan Sterns, picked her up from home and dropped her off at the school. So the mother advised that he picked her up from home. So where did he live? Did he not live in the home? So he came by to pick her up. Oh my goodness. And dropped her off at school on February 26, 2024. The mother then went to pick her up from school at dismissal and learned that she never showed up to school. An interview was conducted with Stephan Sterns, who advised that he picked her up and dropped her off in front of some kind of preschool, which is a red flag based on what he's charged with, okay, which was down the street from the school at 8:40 hours. The middle school begins class at 9:30 hours. So for all of those wondering, well, what time does school start there? Here they say 9:30. A license plate reader captured Stephan's vehicle with Florida tag, driving redacted. During the interview with Stephan, he provided consent to search his phone, however stated he had accidentally performed a factory reset on his phone on February 26th, the same day that she went missing. Actually, this is the one from the police that's just slightly less redacted. So Grizzly Cat and I were trying to redact all the horrible things as much as possible in case we were going to put it out there, but I just want to read you this one because it might make just a little bit more sense here. An interview was conducted with Stephan Sterns, who advised he picked up and dropped her off in front of the Peace United Methodist Preschool, okay, which was down the street from the school at 8:40 hours. Hunters Creek Middle School begins class at 9:30 hours. A license plate reader captured Stephan's vehicle with Florida tag. That's the one they want people to look out for if they look back into their surveillance or footage or remember something. IYLL82, driving. During the interview with Stephan, he provided consent to search his phone. However, he stated he had accidentally performed a factory reset on his phone on February 26th, the same day that Madeline went missing. Okay, after an extensive canvass of the area and interviews with, I would assume they're saying Madeline's family and friends, it was unusual for her to be dropped off down the street from the school and not stay in communication with family and friends. All day, of course. Upon reviewing, now here we go with the trigger warning. Upon reviewing the contents of Stephan's phone, several images and videos were located which depicted, redacted, breasts, vagina, and anal opening as the focal point of the pictures and videos. There were also pictures and videos depicting vagina and mouth being penetrated by a penis. As such, the files depict the sexual performance of a child. Your affiant has probable cause to believe that Stephan was in possession of material depicting the sexual performance of a child. It should be noted the penis observed penetrating, redacted, had distinct marking on it, which consisted of bright pinkish colored skin below the head of the penis until approximately a quarter of the length down the shaft of the penis. Several other pictures capturing this distinct pattern were observed on the phone. Okay, and further, as your affiant was reviewing the pictures and videos, I was observing several different pieces of clothing to include patterned underwear, shirts, blankets, and sheets. And then that was all redacted by the police. Based on the totality of the circumstances, your affiant has probable cause to believe that Stephan committed a sexual battery. And they redacted the name, probably of, the victim. So, how freaking sad and horrible. Arrest warrant, Circuit Court of the 9th Judicial Circuit, Osceola County, Florida. There is the perp, Stephan Michael Sterns. My goodness, I hope he never gets out. What kind of sentence is he going to face? Well, if he faces murder charges later, that's got to be a long time then, I think, right? So, again, they say between the 20th of the 3rd and the 3rd of the 12th, 2023 is the date that they're saying there. Sexual battery, possession of material sexual performance by a child. Ordered this 28th day of February of 2024. Let me also quickly show you a clip of him being transferred to that new jail. Okay, which Rose on X has shared, so check this out quickly here.
Stephan, where's Maddie? Did you hurt her? Are you a pedophile? What's on your cell phone? Why aren't you talking to investigators?
Look at this
Where
guy.
was Maddie last seen? Why aren't you helping her mother and her family? This is a little girl. Help them find Maddie. Where is Maddie? Where is she? What did you do with her? Tell us something.
Wow, doesn't he just look like the victim? He's always like making himself so small. Such a small and tired little man now. What's happening to him? Oh my goodness. And yes, of course, he's innocent till proven guilty. I know that. But damn, based on what police have said they found on his phone, yeah, I hope they lock him up for a long, long time. So that's all I have for you for now. I would highly recommend checking out the live stream that we did because we watched the entire interview of Madeline's mother as well together, especially in that second live stream. And that was very interesting as well, given the new information. So go check that out. There's also the whole timeline and everything. I hope this helps though. This is the new timeline because it's based on what police evidence shows. So I hope that you did find this video helpful. And then please do like and share, not because you like the topic, it's because you like the way that I present true crime and you want to help get the word out, because you just never know if anybody has seen, that vehicle or that man doing weird things on February 26th. And that was between 1 and 2:30 in the afternoon that he was on that Hickory Tree Road, is what they said. It was around then, so somewhere in the afternoon. So if he came by to pick Maddie up to take her to school, I still wonder then, what was the living situation? Did they not live together? Did he live somewhere else? Did he just come pick her? Was it his turn to pick her up? Or, and where did he take her? Did he take her to the woods? Was it him that wrote the text? Oh my goodness, there's so many questions I have. I'm sure you have them too. Please leave your comments below. And thinking of Maddie's friends and family, because what devastating news to learn that the police now are confident that she is no longer alive. That is horrifying. 13 years old. She just turned 13. So stay safe. Be very, very careful of these groomers, okay? These predators that are on dating apps, they wherever. They love bomb you. They want to enter your home. They want to be a father figure. Now, maybe there's a percentage that do want to be, But to me, it's almost like from true crime experience, they are the exception, not the rule. We see too many cases like this, where there's these guys that want to kind of be like insta-dads, like I'll step in, I want to be a father figure, but maybe they're trying to get to your children. So just consider that. Be careful, and make sure that your children know they could talk to you anytime. If there's anything happening, they can tell you about it. If there's any signs of behavioral changes or anything like that, or if their friends at school are saying things, rather believe them, because why would they make it up? And even if children do make things up sometimes, then you got to ask yourself, why would they make up something like that? And even if they do, then they need help in any case. So, okay, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Stay safe.